Captain Kang Minho had become very good at killing worlds. In 18 months, he had destroyed 12 alien planets with the efficiency of a factory worker. Each world died a little faster than the last as he got better at his methods. Today's target was Velsara, a farming world that fed half the alien empire. 3 million civilians lived in farming communities across the planet's surface. Captain Kang would kill them all before lunchtime. "Gravity weapons charged and ready," said his weapons officer. "Use them," Kang ordered without looking up from his computer screen. He had learned not to watch the planets die. It was more efficient to focus on the numbers. The gravity weapons reached down from space and grabbed the planet's land masses. Then they twisted them. The planet's surface cracked like an eggshell as massive earthquakes tore continents apart. Within 30 minutes, every alien city was buried under shifting rock. The lucky aliens died quickly when buildings fell on them. The unlucky ones were buried alive in underground shelters that became tombs. "Sir, we are getting distress signals from across the planet," said the communications officer. "Record them," Kang replied. "Command wants documentation of enemy casualties." Dr. Lim Yan-Su worked in her laboratory on the research ship Plaguebringer. She was humanity's leading expert in biological warfare, and she had spent the past year developing diseases specifically made to kill aliens. Her latest creation was particularly elegant. A virus that attacked alien nervous systems, causing gradual paralysis over several weeks. Victims would slowly lose control of their bodies while staying fully awake. They would feel everything that happened to them but be unable to move or speak. "Perfect," she whispered as she watched test subjects die in her laboratory. The alien prisoners that Earth's government provided for her experiments suffered exactly as she intended. She had not always been a monster. Before New Busan, Dr. Lim had taken an oath to save lives. She had spent her career developing medicines to help sick people get better. But the recordings from New Busan had changed her thinking. Aliens were not people. They were a disease that infected the galaxy, spreading suffering wherever they went. Her job now was to develop cures for that disease. The biological weapons were used on alien farming worlds first. Dr. Lim wanted to make sure the aliens died slowly and painfully, with plenty of time to think about what they had done to human children. Sergeant Jang Tae-young led the ground forces that hunted surviving alien leaders. His enhanced soldiers were fast enough to catch running aliens and strong enough to tear them apart with their bare hands. But Sergeant Jang preferred to use more traditional methods. He wanted the aliens to see their deaths coming. "Target found," he reported to his squad as they surrounded an alien government bunker on the world of Nextar. "Duke Velmaran and his family are hiding inside." The Duke had been one of the military advisors who planned the New Busan attack. Intelligence reports said he had personally suggested using human children as psychological weapons against the adult defenders. "Break in and clear out," Jang ordered. "I want the Duke alive for questioning." His soldiers smashed through the bunker's defenses in less than 5 minutes. Enhanced human bodies were made to be superior to alien bodies in every way. The alien guards died without putting up any real fight. Duke Velmaran cowered in the deepest part of the bunker with his wife and 3 children. When the human soldiers found them, the alien noble tried to make a deal. "Please, I can give you information about our military deployments," he begged in broken human language. "I can help you win this war faster." Sergeant Jang turned on his recording equipment. Every execution was broadcast across alien space as psychological warfare. "You had your chance to help," he told the Duke. "You could have helped by not murdering human children. You chose differently." The questioning lasted 6 hours. Jang wanted to make sure every alien in the galaxy understood what happened to enemies of humanity. The Duke's family was forced to watch as he was slowly taken apart. When it was over, Jang sent the recording with a simple message. "This is what mercy looks like when humans show it." The alien military began to fall apart as the human campaign continued. Entire fleets surrendered without fighting, hoping that cooperation would save their lives. They were wrong. Captain Kang developed a standard response to alien surrender offers. He would accept the surrender, order the alien crews to abandon their ships, then kill them all with bombing from space. The empty ships were captured and studied for information, but the aliens died anyway. "Why do we bother accepting surrenders if we kill them anyway?" asked his tactical officer. "Because it makes them hope," Kang explained. "Hope makes the fear worse when they realize we lied." Dr. Lim's biological weapons spread through alien space like wildfire. Farming worlds became plague worlds where millions of aliens died in pain over the course of weeks. The diseases were made to be incurable and highly contagious. Sir, we are getting reports that some alien worlds are asking for human medical help, said the communications officer on Lim's ship. Tell them we will send medical supplies, she replied with a cold smile. The medical supplies were additional, biological weapons disguised as medicine. Alien doctors who tried to treat the diseases only made them worse by spreading new infections to healthy populations. Sergeant Zhang's execution videos became famous across the galaxy. Other alien species watched in horror as human soldiers systematically murdered every alien leader they could find. The deaths were always slow and always recorded. Are we sending a message to other species as well as these aliens? Asked one of his soldiers after they finished executing a planetary governor. Yes, Zhang replied. The message is simple. Do not attack humans. The human fleet grew larger as the campaign continued. Shipyards across human space worked at maximum capacity to produce more warships made specifically for planetary destruction. Each new ship was more efficient than the last. Captain Kang received command of a battle group consisting of 24 planet-killer ships. His mission was to destroy every world in the outer alien territories before the aliens could move their populations away. Sir, long-range sensors are detecting alien refugee fleets running toward their core worlds, said his navigation officer. Intercept and destroy, Kang ordered. No survivors. The refugee ships were filled with alien families trying to escape the advancing human forces. Most of them were civilians with no military training and no weapons. They died just as quickly as the soldiers had. Sir, we are detecting distress signals from escape pods, said the weapons officer after they finished destroying a refugee convoy. Target the pods, Kang replied without hesitation. Kill them all. The escape pods contained alien children. Some were barely old enough to walk. They died screaming for their parents, while human weapons turned their pods into expanding clouds of burning gas. Dr. Lim received reports that her biological weapons had killed over 50 million aliens across 8 different worlds. The diseases continued to spread, jumping from planet to planet as infected aliens ran to previously safe areas. Excellent results, she noted in her research journal. Recommend deployment of enhanced viral strains to accelerate casualty rates. The enhanced viruses were worse than the originals. They killed faster but caused more pain during the dying process. Entire worlds became graveyards where the only sounds were the screams of the infected. Sergeant Zhang's forces captured and executed over 300 alien officials during the campaign. Each death was recorded in high definition and broadcast across the galaxy with human commentary explaining exactly why each alien deserved to die slowly. Today, we executed Admiral Zekthar, he announced to the camera while standing over the alien's torn body. He personally ordered the torture of human prisoners at New Busan. His death took 4 hours. We consider this merciful compared to what he did to our people. The psychological impact was exactly what Human Command had hoped for. Alien morale collapsed completely as their leaders died one by one in the most horrible ways possible. Captain Kang stood on the bridge of his flagship and looked at his mission reports. 12 worlds destroyed, over 100 million aliens dead, countless ships destroyed, not a single human casualty in his battle group. Sir, we are receiving new orders from Earth Command, said his communications officer. Kang read the message and smiled. The final phase of the campaign was beginning. They were going to attack the alien homeworld itself. Set course for SciFiPrime, he ordered. Time to finish what they started at New Busan. Fleet Admiral Park Sung-min stared at SciFiPrime through the bridge windows of his flagship. The planet looked beautiful from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land. 6 billion aliens lived on that world. In 12 hours, they would all be dead. Sir, we are getting a transmission from Emperor Velthar, said the communications officer. Put it through, Park ordered. He was curious to hear what the alien leader had to say. Emperor Velthar appeared on the main screen. He looked old and tired. His once proud uniform was wrinkled and dirty. Behind him, Park could see other alien officials hiding in what looked like a bunker. Admiral Park, the Emperor began in careful human language. I am prepared to offer complete surrender. Total surrender. My people will become your slaves if necessary. We will pay any price you demand. Please just let some of us live. Park studied the alien ruler for a moment. 2 years ago, he might have felt pity for the desperate creature on his screen. Now he felt nothing at all. Your Majesty, Park replied politely. Do you remember what you told the human colonists at New Busan when they begged for mercy? The Emperor's face went pale. We made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But surely you do not plan to murder billions of innocent civilians? Innocent? Park asked. Your people cheered when the videos from New Busan were broadcast across your empire. They celebrated the deaths of human children. They are not innocent. Colonel An Yuri stood beside the Admiral and turned on her own communication device. She wanted to make sure her message reached every alien on the planet below. People of SciFiPrime, she announced, you have 1 hour to make peace with whatever gods you worship. At that time we will begin the final attack. There will be no mercy. There will be no survivors. This is what you chose when you decided to torture human children for fun. The communication ended. Emperor Velthar tried to call back, but Park ordered all channels blocked. The time for talking was over. Sir, shall we begin with bombing from space? Asked the weapons officer. No, Park replied. I want them to suffer first. Use the atmosphere weapons. The human fleet had developed new weapons during the campaign. Tools made specifically for causing maximum terror before death. The atmosphere burners were the worst of them. Colonel An watched from the tactical display as the weapons moved around SciFiPrime. In 30 minutes, they would set fire to the planet's oxygen supply and turn the entire atmosphere into a burning hell. Sir, we are detecting massive civilian evacuation attempts, said the sensor officer. Millions of aliens are trying to reach underground shelters. Let them hide, An replied. The fire will find them anyway. Dr. Lim Yansu had prepared special biological weapons for the final attack. These viruses were made to survive the atmosphere fires and infect any aliens who managed to avoid burning to death. Release the plague packages, she ordered from her laboratory ship. Make sure every shelter and bunker is contaminated. The biological weapons fell like rain across SciFiPrime. Invisible. Death that would hunt down any aliens who survived the initial attack. The atmosphere burners turned on. Exactly 1 hour after Colonel An's warning, SciFiPrime's sky turned to fire as oxygen molecules were converted into burning plasma. The temperature rose to over 1,000 degrees within minutes. 6 billion aliens died screaming. Admiral Park watched the planet burn and felt nothing. No satisfaction, no regret, no emotion at all. He had become something beyond human feeling during the campaign. Sir, we are detecting survivors in deep underground installations, said the sensor officer. Send in the ground teams, Park ordered. Sergeant Jang Tae-young led the final attack teams to the surface of the burning world. His enhanced soldiers wore armor that could survive the superheated atmosphere. Their mission was to hunt down any aliens who had escaped the fire. The first target was the Imperial Palace bunker, where Emperor Velthar was hiding with his family and remaining officials. Jang's soldiers blasted through reinforced doors and went down into the underground complex. They found the Emperor in the deepest vault with his wife and 3 children. The alien ruler had armed himself with an ancient ceremonial sword, ready to make a final stand. Please, the Empress begged in human language. Our children are innocent. They never hurt anyone. Sergeant Jang looked at the young alien princes and felt a flicker of something that might have been conscience. They were just children. Alien children, but still children. Then he remembered the videos from New Busan. Human children being tortured while their parents were forced to watch. He remembered his own nephew, age 6, who had been used as target practice by alien soldiers. Your children are not innocent, he told the Empress. They carry the genes of monsters. They would grow up to be monsters like their parents. The execution was broadcast live across the galaxy. Every surviving alien could watch their royal family die slowly, while human soldiers explained exactly why each death was necessary. Emperor Velthar died last, after watching his wife and children torn apart by enhanced human hands. His final words were a curse against humanity that Jiang made sure to record for posterity. Sir, bunker complex secured, Jiang reported to Admiral Park. No survivors. Excellent. Move to the next target. The ground teams worked for 6 hours, hunting down every surviving alien on the planet. Government officials, military officers, civilians, children, they all died the same way. Dr. Lim's biological weapons finished off any aliens who had managed to hide from both the fire and the soldiers. Her viruses were made to seek out alien DNA and destroy it at the cellular level. By the end of the day, SciFiPrime was a dead world. The atmosphere was poison. The surface was burned to ash. Nothing would ever live there again. Mission complete, Admiral Park reported to Earth Command. The alien empire has been eliminated. Total casualties, approximately 800 million enemy aliens. Human casualties, 0. The fleet remained in orbit for 3 days, making sure no life signs remained on the planet below. When they were satisfied that every alien was dead, they prepared to return home. Colonel An Yuri stood in her quarters and looked at the medal Earth had awarded her for exceptional service. She was a hero of humanity, the woman who had helped eliminate a threat to human civilization. She felt empty inside, hollow, like something important had been carved out of her soul during the campaign. Was it worth it? She asked herself while staring at her reflection in the mirror. Her reflection had no answer. Sergeant Zhang cleaned his equipment one last time before the fleet jumped to hyperspace. He had personally killed over 400 alien officials during the campaign. Each death had been justified. Each execution had been necessary, but he could not stop seeing the faces of the alien children in the bunker. They had looked at him with the same terror that human children had shown to alien soldiers at New Busan. "We did what we had to do," he told his squad during the final briefing. "Yes, sir," they replied, but none of them looked convinced. Admiral Park remained on the bridge as the fleet prepared to leave. He had commanded the complete extinction of an intelligent species. 800 million aliens dead, dozens of worlds reduced to lifeless rocks. History would remember him as either humanity's greatest hero or its greatest monster. Probably both. "Sir, we are ready to jump to hyperspace," said the navigation officer. "Take us home," Park ordered. The human fleet disappeared into hyperspace, leaving behind the burned corpse of SciFiPrime. The war was over. Humanity had achieved total victory, but victory had come at a price. The species that returned to Earth was not the same one that had left 2 years earlier. They had become something harder, something colder, something that could kill billions of intelligent beings without feeling guilt. The galaxy knew about humanity now. They knew what humans could do when pushed beyond their limits. Other alien species sent tribute and avoided human space, terrified of making similar mistakes. Earth's colonies expanded without opposition. Human ships patrolled trade routes that other species refused to enter. The name human became the same as total war and absolute destruction. Some humans celebrated their new status as the galaxy's top predators. Others wondered what they had lost when they chose to become monsters in order to defeat other monsters. But they all agreed on one thing: no alien species would ever attack human civilians again. The price for such aggression had been made very clear. Humanity had learned the most important lesson in the galaxy. Sometimes, the only way to stop monsters is to become something worse than they are. The war was over. The monsters had won, and they were human. Commander Bei Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the Soul's Vengeance and looked at his first target. Nexus 7 looked peaceful from space, a small world with blue oceans and green land, home to 40,000 alien military people and their families. His daughter Bei Mina had been 7 years old when she died at New Busan. The aliens had used her as bait to draw other children out of hiding. Then they killed all the children slowly while recording their screams. "Sir, enemy fleet is coming toward us," said Lieutenant Shin Da-eun from her workstation. She led the enhanced soldiers who would board any ships that survived the first attack. Her body had been changed with stronger bones, faster movements, and muscles that could crush alien skulls with her bare hands. "How many ships?" Hase asked. 23 big ships and 48 fighters, said tech specialist Oh Dong-hyuk. He controlled the computer systems that would run the attack. The computers had been programmed with one simple rule: kill everything that was not human. "They have more ships than us," said the tactical officer. Bei smiled, but there was no happiness in it. They had more soldiers than the children at New Busan too. The alien fleet came closer in a normal defensive formation. Their commander probably expected a regular space battle with talking and surrender demands. He was about to learn that humans no longer fought regular battles. "All ships start the attack," Bei ordered. "No warnings. No surrender offers. Kill them all." The human fleet opened fire without trying to talk first. The new weapons turned alien cruisers into expanding clouds of burning gas. Ships that had taken years to build died in seconds. "Sir, the enemy commander is trying to talk to us," said the communications officer. "Ignore them," Bay replied. The time for talking ended at New Busan. Lieutenant Shin Da-eun watched the battle from the launch bay where her enhanced soldiers waited. Each soldier wore armor painted with pictures from the New Busan recordings. Images of dead human children. Videos of alien monsters laughing while they hurt civilians. "Remember why we are here," she told her troops over the radio system. "We are not here to capture prisoners. We are not here to gather information. We are here to kill aliens." The soldiers nodded. Most of them had volunteered for genetic changes after watching the recordings from New Busan. The process had killed many volunteers, but those who survived were no longer quite human. They were something made specifically to hunt and kill aliens. The space battle lasted 4 hours. When it ended, every alien ship was destroyed. The human fleet had lost only 2 ships and had minor damage to 3 others. "Good work," Bay told his crew. "Now we begin the real mission." Tech specialist Oh Dong-hyuk sent his computer weapons against the planet below. Computer viruses invaded every alien system on Nexus 7. Defense platforms turned their weapons against their own operators. Communication networks began broadcasting human propaganda directly into alien homes. The propaganda was simple. Videos from New Busan showing what aliens had done to human children. Then text messages explaining what was about to happen to alien children. "Sir, we are getting surrender offers from the planetary government," said the communications officer. "Tell them we do not accept surrenders," Bay replied. "Tell them they should have thought about mercy before they attacked New Busan." The bombing from space began at sunset. Human ships rained death on every alien city and military base. But unlike the quick destruction at New Busan, this attack was made to be slow and scary. Lieutenant Shin Da-eun led her enhanced soldiers to the surface while the cities burned around them. Their mission was to hunt down any alien officials who had survived the bombing and kill them on camera. The first target was General Vorthak, the alien commander who had planned the New Busan attack. Shin's soldiers found him hiding in a bunker under the capital city with his family. "Please," the alien general begged in broken human language, "my children did nothing wrong." Shin Da-eun looked at him with eyes that had been genetically changed to see better in darkness. "Human children did nothing wrong either," she replied. "Did that stop you?" She turned on her recording device and began to show the alien general the same mercy he had shown human families. The video was broadcast across alien space within hours. Meanwhile, tech specialist Oh Dong-hyuk worked on the planet's air. The computer systems he controlled began releasing poison gas into the atmosphere. Not enough to kill quickly, but enough to cause slow suffocation over several days. "Sir, we are getting reports from across the planet," the communications officer told Commander Bay. "Alien civilians are begging for a quick death instead of the slow poisoning." "Let them beg," Bay replied. Human children begged too. The air poisoning continued for 3 days. During that time, human ships broadcast the dying screams of alien families across their communication networks. Every alien in the Empire could hear the sounds of children choking on poisoned air. When the last alien on Nexus 7 finally died, the human fleet moved into orbit and used the final weapon. Atmosphere processors that would strip away the planet's breathable air and replace it with toxic gases. Within 12 hours, Nexus 7 changed from a green world into a dead rock covered in poisonous clouds. Nothing would ever live there again. "Mission complete," Bay reported to the fleet. "Nexus 7 has been sterilized. Moving to next target." But the mission was not really about destroying one world. It was about sending a message to every alien species in the galaxy. The recordings of Nexus 7's destruction were sent to every major alien government along with a simple statement. "This is what happens to enemies of humanity. This is what happens to those who show us no mercy. We have learned from your example, and we will be better students than you were teachers." Lieutenant Shin Da-eun cleaned alien blood off her armor while the fleet prepared to jump to hyperspace. She had killed 17 alien officers with her bare hands during the ground attack. Each death had been recorded and broadcast. "How do you feel?" asked one of her soldiers. "Empty," she replied honestly. But empty is better than helpless. Tech specialist Oh Dong-hyuk ran checks on his computer systems while watching Nexus 7 disappear behind them. The computers had worked perfectly, killing with maximum efficiency and minimum human casualties. "Sir," he reported to Commander Bay, "the computers are asking permission to develop better killing methods for the next target." "Permission granted," Bay replied without hesitation. "Make sure the next world dies faster." Commander Bei Jinwoo stood alone on the bridge after most of his crew had gone to rest. In the viewing screen, he could see the dead world they were leaving behind. 40,000 aliens had lived there that morning. Now there were only toxic clouds and radiation. He thought about his daughter, Mina, and wondered what she would think of what he had become. Would she be proud that he had gotten revenge for her death? Would she be horrified at the monster he had turned into? In the end, it did not matter. Mina was dead, killed by aliens who thought human children were toys to be hurt for fun. Those aliens had taught him that mercy was weakness and civilization was a luxury that peaceful species could not afford. The human fleet jumped to hyperspace, heading for their next target. Behind them, Nexus 7 continued its slow death, a warning to the galaxy that humanity was no longer interested in being civilized. The war had begun, and it would not end until every alien who had participated in the New Busan massacre was dead. Along with every alien who had supported them. Along with every alien who had stayed neutral while human children died screaming. Humanity had learned a valuable lesson from the alien empire. Sometimes, being a monster is the only way to stop other monsters from hurting innocent people. They were very good students. The message from New Busan reached Earth 3 weeks later. President Nam Kite was in a meeting about money when his helper ran through the door. The man looked sick and scared. "Sir, you must see this right now." Nam had been a soldier before he became the leader of Earth. He had seen war. He had seen death. But nothing could prepare him for what he saw in the recordings from New Busan. The first video showed alien soldiers using human children for target practice. The aliens laughed while small bodies fell down. The second video was worse. The third video was so bad that Nam had to stop watching and take deep breaths, but he forced himself to watch every single recording. All 47 hours of terrible footage that the survivors brought back. When he finished, his hands were closed so tight that his knuckles turned white. "Get Admiral Choi and General Yoon here," he told his helper. "Emergency meeting. Right now." Admiral Choi Byung-ho came to the government building fast. He was Earth's top military officer, a man who had spent 50 years building humanity's defenses. General Yoon Hyejin came with him. She ran the special forces that handled the worst threats to human space. Nam played the recordings for both officers without saying a word. They watched in complete silence. When the videos ended, nobody spoke for a long time. "How many people escaped?" Admiral Choi finally asked. 12,000 out of 800,000, Nam said back. General Yoon closed her eyes. "Dear God, there is no God in this," Nam said quietly. "If there was, this would never have happened." The president stood up and walked to the big window. Below him, people lived their normal lives. They had no idea that everything was about to change forever. "Admiral, I want every secret weapons project started immediately. Every single one." "Sir, some of those weapons go against the peace agreements we signed with other alien species. If we use them, everyone will think we are criminals." Nam turned back to face his officers. "The aliens have already made us into something worse than criminals. They made us into victims. I will never let humanity be victims again." He went to his desk and pulled out a locked file. "Project Revenge. You thought I did not know about it, but I always knew. The planet killer weapons. The atmosphere burners. The computer systems made for total war." Admiral Choi looked surprised. Project Revenge was so secret that only 5 people in government knew it existed. "We built those weapons hoping we would never need them," the Admiral said. "They are not tools for normal warfare." "Then it is good that we are no longer normal," Nam replied. "General Yoon, what about your enhanced soldier program?" "Against the law and against every agreement we signed," she answered. "But it works. We have 300 volunteers who got genetic changes to match alien physical abilities. Make it 3,000 volunteers." "Sir, the genetic changes have a 40% failure rate. Many volunteers die during the process." Nam picked up one of the video files from New Busan and held it where General Yoon could see it. "How many children died in this recording?" She looked at the file name and did the math. "About 2,000, sir." "Then a 40% failure rate sounds acceptable to me." The president called an emergency meeting of Earth's assembly that evening. Representatives from every nation and colony came to watch the new Busan recordings. By the time the videos finished, half the people were crying. The other half were planning revenge. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would respond to the alien attack with total war. No prisoners. No talking. No mercy. Admiral Choi took control of the military buildup. The secret shipyards that built humanity's hidden weapons suddenly worked all day and all night. Ships that existed only in plans began taking shape in construction bays nobody knew about. The main ship was the Soul's Vengeance, a warship made specifically to destroy worlds. Its weapons could crack planets in half or burn away their air. Its computers could manage the complete destruction of an entire star system without human help. General Yoon began training the enhanced soldiers who would board enemy ships and kill every alien they found. The volunteers knew they might die during the genetic change process. They volunteered anyway after watching the new Busan recordings. "We are not trying to match the aliens," one volunteer told his family before going into the change chamber. "We are trying to become worse than them." President Nam spoke to all of humanity 6 months after New Busan died. He stood before the cameras with the coldest look anyone had ever seen on his face. "My fellow humans," he began, "we have always believed that being civilized meant showing mercy to our enemies. That honor meant fighting fair. That victory meant being better than those who attack us." He stopped talking and looked straight into the camera. "The aliens have taught us that these beliefs make us weak. They showed us what happens when civilized people fight uncivilized enemies. Today we choose to become uncivilized ourselves." Behind him, screens showed pictures of new warships being built, ships with names like Retribution, No Mercy, and Remember New Busan. "We will hunt down every alien in the galaxy who helped kill our people. We will destroy every world that hides them. We will burn their empire to ash and make sure nothing grows in that ash ever again." The president leaned toward the camera. His voice got quieter but somehow more scary. "They wanted to show us what monsters look like. We will show them what monsters can do when they decide to stop pretending to be nice." The broadcast ended, but the message was clear. Humanity was going to war. Not the kind of war with rules and honor and mercy. The kind of war where only one species would survive. Admiral Choi worked 18 hours every day preparing the fleet. Every ship got weapons that could kill planets. Every computer was programmed to show no mercy to any alien target. "Are we sure this is the right path?" he asked General Yoon one evening. They watched the Soul's Vengeance complete its first weapon test. The blast completely destroyed a small moon in less than 10 seconds. "Look at this," she said back, handing him another recording from New Busan. "An alien soldier made human prisoners dig their own graves before killing them. Then the aliens used the dead bodies as decorations." Admiral Choi watched the video and felt something cold settle in his chest, something that would never warm up again. "I am sure about our path," he said finally. The fleet was ready 9 months after New Busan. 150 warships carrying weapons of total destruction. 30,000 enhanced soldiers ready to kill every alien they met. Computer systems programmed to find the most efficient ways to destroy entire civilizations. President Nam stood on the bridge of the Soul's Vengeance as the fleet prepared to leave. Captain Beijin Wu commanded the ship. His daughter had died at New Busan. Now his hands were steady and his eyes were empty. "What is our target?" the captain asked. "All of them," Nam replied. "Every alien world. Every species that helped them. Every species that stays neutral while we work." The fleet jumped into hyperspace, leaving Earth behind. When they came back, they would either be heroes or monsters. Most of them no longer cared which one they became. The morning sun came up over New Busan like every other day. Captain Lee Taeho drank his coffee on the tall building where he worked. He looked down at the farmers working in the green fields below. Children ran and played in the streets. Their parents grew food that made New Busan famous all over human space. New Busan was a quiet place. No wars, no fighting. Just families living peaceful lives on a world far from Earth. 800,000 people called this place home. Dr. Park, So Young, was looking at plant samples under her microscope when the alarm started making noise. She lifted her head and felt confused. Nobody had told her about any practice drills today. The alarm got louder and louder. Engineer Kim Woo-jin was working deep inside the power station when his radio crackled with static. Then a voice came through clearly. "All workers go to emergency stations right now. This is real. Not practice." Captain Lee ran to his main computer screen. The radar showed dots appearing at the edge of their star system. Lots of dots. Too many dots. His hand started shaking as he counted them. 50 ships, then 100. Then more ships kept coming. Tell me what those ships are, Lee told his worker at the radio. The answer came back too fast. Velkaran Empire warships? A whole battle fleet flying straight toward New Busan. The Velkarans had never attacked human colonies before. They always stayed in their own space. Lee hit the button that made alarms ring all over the colony. Loud sirens screamed across every town and farm. People stopped what they were doing. They looked up at the sky with scared faces. Dr. Park ran from her lab toward the hospital. She had learned how to help people during emergencies. But something felt wrong about this. Very wrong. The alien ships came down from space like burning stars. But these stars brought death instead of light. The attack from space began with no warning. No demands to give up. No talking at all. The aliens just started killing people. Lee watched in horror as the biggest city disappeared in a ball of fire. 800,000 people lived there. Had lived there. Now there was only smoke and flames where the city used to be. Start getting people out now. Lee screamed into his microphone. All people go to the transport ships. Move fast. But there were not enough ships to save everyone. New Busan was a farming colony, not a military base. They had maybe 20 cargo ships and a few passenger shuttles. How could they save 800,000 people with 20 small ships? The alien ground troops landed while bombs kept falling from space. Lee got radio reports from the outer farms that made his blood feel cold. The aliens were not just destroying buildings. They were hunting people like animals. Dr. Park reached the hospital as the first hurt people arrived. What she saw would stay in her nightmares forever. A mother carrying her dead child. The small body was torn apart by alien weapons. An old man had deep cuts across his face from alien claws. He kept talking about monsters with too many teeth. They do not want to capture us, one hurt farmer gasped, while Park fixed his wounds. They want to make us suffer before we die. Kim worked as fast as he could in the power station to keep the communication array working. If he could send a message to Earth, maybe help would come. Maybe someone would know that New Busan had died screaming. The Velkarans moved through the colony like a sickness. They burned every farm. They smashed every building. But the worst thing was how they hurt every human they caught. They did not kill quickly. They took their time. Lee organized people trying to escape while explosions shook his building. Only 12,000 people had made it to the transport ship so far. 12,000 out of 800,000. Sir, we have to leave now, his helper begged. The aliens will be here in 10 minutes. Not yet, Lee said back. Every minute we stay here means more people might reach the ships. Dr. Park was loading medical supplies onto the last shuttle when she heard screaming. Alien soldiers had found a group of children hiding in a school basement. The sounds that came from that building were not sounds that children should ever make. She wanted to run toward the school. She wanted to help those children. But her job was to help the people on the ships. The people who might still live. The transport ships took off just as alien soldiers reached the spaceport. Lee watched from the bridge of the main ship as alien troops shot at the escaping ships. Most ships made it to space safely. A few did not. Kim stayed behind to send the final message to Earth. He recorded everything he could. The bombing from space, the torture of regular people, the murder of every human the aliens could find. This is Engineer Kim Woo-jin of New Busan Colony. He spoke into the transmitter as explosions got closer. The Velkaran Empire has attacked our world for no reason. They are killing everyone. Not just soldiers, everyone, children, old people, babies. The building shook as alien weapons hit the walls around him. Kim kept talking into the radio. They are not taking prisoners. They are not asking us to give up. They are killing our people because they enjoy it. If anyone gets this message, remember New Busan. Remember what they did to us. The alien soldiers broke down the door just as Kim finished sending the message. He died trying to protect the communication equipment. From space, the people who escaped watched their world burn. Dr. Park stood at a window with tears running down her face. The green fields where she had walked that morning were now black smoke and fire. Why? Whispered a young girl whose parents had not made it to the ships. Why did they do this to us? Captain Lee had no answer for her. He had fought space pirates and criminals before. But those enemies had reasons for fighting. They wanted money or land or revenge for something. The Velkarans seemed to kill just because they liked killing. The refugee ships jumped into hyperspace, carrying the survivors toward Earth. Behind them, New Busan kept burning. The alien fleet stayed near the planet for 3 more days, making sure every human building was destroyed. When the aliens finally left, New Busan was a dead world. The air glowed with poison radiation. The water was toxic. Even the dirt would need many years before anything could grow again. But 12,000 humans had escaped. 12,000 witnesses who had recordings of what happened. 12,000 voices who would tell Earth what the Velkaran Empire really was. Captain Lee sat alone in his room on the refugee ship. He watched the recordings over and over. The torture, the murder, the happy looks on alien faces as they killed human children. Something had broken inside him during those terrible hours, something that would never heal. They showed us no mercy, he whispered to himself in the dark. When Earth fights back, we will show them no mercy either. The recordings would reach Earth in 3 weeks. When they did, everything would change. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you made humans angry enough to stop being civilized. The war was coming. And humanity would not be the same species when it ended.